Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to use AI for real estate buyer personality analysis in Salesforce. So I am an owner of a real estate agency and it is very important for me to understand the mindset of my potential buyers. And for that, personality analysis is very important. And doing that manually is a very time consuming and hectic task. So to solve that process, I have created an AI agent using Pabbly Connect without writing a single line of code. How this AI agent works is, I have created a form using Google Forms with the help of which I collect my potential buyers' details and I'm going to ask them questions that they are going to answer. Over here, as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by the potential buyers using Google Forms, I want to first create that form submission, the leads data. I want to add it in my Salesforce account. As I'm going to add the new lead, now I want to create the personality analysis of that potential buyer who have done the form submission. For that, I'm using an AI agent that is going to generate the analysis. As the analysis summary is going to be generated by the AI agent to create the systematic record, I'm using Google Sheets. I'm going to add the data of my leads details as well as the summary. So now if you want to learn how to create this amazing AI agent for yourself, for your business, then let me take you to my screen. In this video, we are going to learn how to use AI for real estate buyer personality analysis in Salesforce. So as an owner of a real estate business, I focus on connecting better with potential property buyers by understanding their mindset and preferences. I use Salesforce to collect and organize buyers' inquiries from the form submissions done with the help of Google Forms. I use an AI agent that instantly analyzes their personality traits based on their responses. The analyzed traits are then added back to Google Sheets where I can easily review and compare insight across leads. And I'm going to create this amazing AI agent using Pabbly Connect. So for that, on a new tab, I'm going to browse the website of Pabbly Connect, that is www.pabbly.com/connect. After browsing the website, Pabbly Connect's landing page is going to appear in front of you, on which you have two options: sign in or sign up for free. If you're an existing user, you can directly sign into your Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. I am an existing user, so for that, I'm going to directly sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the applications that Pabbly provides, from which we are going to select this Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button right over here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. And in order to create a new AI agent in our Pabbly Connect account, we have to create a workflow. For that, click on this Create Workflow button to create a new workflow. Firstly, it is asking for the workflow name, which is going to be AI for Real Estate Buyer Personality Analysis in Salesforce. This is the name of my workflow. For the folder on the left side of my screen, you can see these are the folders. And from these, I'm going to select this AI Agents folder and then click on this Create button right here. A new workflow has been created and you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One is the trigger window, other is the action window. So what is trigger in action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps for automation process because our process depends on these two principles. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up a trigger step first, in which my trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Google Forms. I'm selecting my trigger application as Google Forms because with the help of Google Forms, I have created a form that is going to collect the data of my potential buyer's details. Okay, it is not only going to collect the basic details from my buyer but also their answers related to few questions with the help of which we are going to analyze the personality of our buyer. Okay. So now what I want is that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by the potential buyer using this form, I want trigger over here should capture the response of that. That is why for my trigger application, I've selected it as Google Forms and the trigger event is going to be new response received. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Now using the unique webhook URL and by following the steps given here below in the help desk, I am going to build a connection between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here and open the form that I want to connect. Now in order to connect this form from this panel, go to responses section right over here. After coming to responses, go to this link to sheets option. It is asking for the destination for the responses. For the destination, you can either create a new spreadsheet or select the existing one. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet from here, so I'm going to click on this create button right here. You can see I have created a spreadsheet. This spreadsheet is directly connected to this form right here. As soon as now by the potential buyer this form submission is going to be done, the response, the record of the details is going to be created in my spreadsheet right here under all these fields. Okay. Firstly, I'm going to format this entire spreadsheet right here. So you can see right away I formatted the entire spreadsheet. Now what we are going to do is we are going to connect this spreadsheet to Pabbly Connect right over here. So now whenever a new response is going to be recorded in this spreadsheet right over here, the trigger is going to capture the response of that. Okay. So for that, from the panel, go to extensions option, add-ons, and get add-ons option right here. This window is going to appear in front of you, on which on the search app bar, I'm going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks and select it right here. You can see that I've already installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks, so I'm going to move forward. But if you have not installed Pabbly Connect Webhooks, please do install it so that with the help of this webhook, we are going to build a connection between Google Sheets, the spreadsheet, and Pabbly Connect. After installing, go back and refresh this spreadsheet from here. As we have refreshed the spreadsheet, if I'm going to go back to extensions, now you can see this option that is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Click on it. From the drop down, go to this option that is Initial Setup. This window is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So firstly, for the webhook URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. For the trigger column, it says the trigger column will be a final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that raw data will be sent to the webhook URL. Okay, so in the spreadsheet, my last data column is column K. So as the form submission is going to be done, the response is going to be captured in this last data column, that is column K. So over here, as it is asking for the trigger column, I'm going to open it again. It says final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of the row data will be sent to the webhook URL. So that means if the response record is going to be created in this final column, the entire row's data should be forwarded towards this webhook URL. So we are going to select our trigger column as column K right here because this is our final data column. And then simply I'm going to click on this submit button right here. It says setup configured successfully. Now I'm going to go back. The steps that I'm going to tell you right now is very important, so please do not forget to follow them. Go back to extensions and Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Now from the drop down, select this option that is send on event. It is mandatory to click on send on event because as soon as the record of the form submission is going to be created in the spreadsheet, this spreadsheet is going to collect the rows data and forward it towards this webhook URL right here. So this is how you build the connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. So as now the connection is successfully done, if I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, it says waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Google Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the test submission of this form right here. And after doing the submission, I'm going to check whether automatically the trigger over here captures a response of the form submission being done or not. Okay. So now for doing the form submission, I'm going to copy this link from here and open it in a new tab right here. So this is the form that I've created and now let us do the form submission. It is asking for the details of my lead. For the first name, I'm going to write it as test. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as lead23232. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as test23232@pabblytudes.com. This is the email address. For the phone number over here, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number right over here. It is asking for the city. For the city over here, let's suppose I'm going to write it as Bhopal itself. So I'm going to write it as Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so this is the city location. My budget is above 1 CR. Okay, so I've selected in all the details. Now I'm going to click on this next button. Now it is asking for some of the preferences. What are the top 3 things you look in your new home? So I'm going to write in the top 3 things right here. So these are my top 3 things: spacious layout, modern design, and natural light. Okay. After the 3 things, it is asking what kind of property best suits your lifestyle. I'm going to select villa in a gated community. Okay. Then I'm going to click on this next button. Now it is asking for the lifestyle and the design style right here. It is asking describe your ideal weekend at home. So over here I'm going to write it as Hosting friends for dinner and enjoying the garden. Okay, this is my weekend at home, and it is asking when choosing a property what matters more to you. So, what matters more to is look and feel, design and vibe. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this submit button right here. It says your response has been recorded. So, as now the form submission is done, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, and you can see the response has been captured in my trigger right here. For when choosing a property, what matters to you is look and feel. You can see right here. This is the lifestyle, villa and gated community. Three things, spacious layout. You can see this was the same response. If I'm going to further scroll down, over here the city is Bhopal. This is the phone number, the first name of the lead, the last name of the lead, email address. The weekend looks like is right here, and this is my budget. So as now the response has been captured in my trigger, this means that Google Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. I want to add all the lead details in my Salesforce account as I'm managing all my leads data using Salesforce. This is my CRM application. So now to add the leads details from this form submission in my Salesforce account, I'm going to set up my action step, in which from action application, I'm going to select it as Salesforce right over here. An action event is going to be create lead, as we're going to create this lead in our Salesforce account. And then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection. Then click on this sign in with the Salesforce button right over here. This window is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the access. For which I'm going to click on this allow button, as this is safe process and my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button right here. And as I've done that, you can see I've successfully authorized Salesforce to Pabbly Connect. After authorizing, it is asking for my leads details. You can see right over here. So for the data of these fields, I'm going to map the data, which is inserting data from the previous step. So I'm going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. How it works is that as soon as I'm going to click on the field, the previous step, that is Google Forms new response received, is going to appear in front of you. And as I'm going to click on it, the response that is captured in our previous step is going to appear in front of you. Firstly, it is asking for my lead's first name, and this is the lead's first name you can see right over here. So I'm going to select the data of my lead's first name from my previous response. As now I've selected the data from my previous response, this data is mapped. And as I've mapped this data, the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. In a similar manner, I'm going to map the data to the last name of my lead right here. For the title over here, I'm going to write it as new lead as my title. Okay. After that, it is asking for the company name. As it is a required field, I'm going to write the company name over here as none, as I don't have the company name. Okay. Then it is asking for the phone number. So for the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number of my lead right here. For the email address, I'm going to map the data of the email address of my lead. It is asking for the website URL, which I do not have, so I'm going to skip the part. Next, it is asking for the description. Now, what I'm going to do is, in this description, I'm going to add in all the answers of the questions that we have received while this lead has done the form submission, okay? So, I will have a brief description right over here. So, firstly, I'm going to write in the description. You can see this is the description that I've written, lead personality inside form submission, okay? And over here, I have written all the details. For the preferred city and the location, I'm going to map the data of the preferred city right here. So, this is the preferred city. I'm going to map the data. For the budget range, I'm going to map the data of the budget range right here. It is asking for the top 3 preferences. So, these are my top 3 preferences right here. So I'm going to map the data. It is asking for the preferred property type. I'm going to map the data of the preferred property type. For the weekend description, I'm going to map the data of the weekend description. And lastly, for the decision priority, map the data of the priority right here. Okay. So this is the entire description of this lead. Okay. For the lead source over here, I'm going to toggle this map button on, erase the existing data from here and manually type in over here as form submission. Okay, so this is my lead source, that is form submission. For the status, I'm going to select as open right over here. Rating is going to be hot. It is asking for the street, city name and the country name, which I do not have, so I'm going to skip the part and simply I'm going to click on the save and send test request button right here. I've done that. I've received a response, which is a positive response, as I've received this ID right here. So if I'm going to open the leads page of my Salesforce account and refresh this page from here, You can see right over here, a new lead has been added in my Salesforce account. If I'm going to go to the details, you can see the name over here is test lead 23232. You can see right here, this is the mobile number, this is the email address. Lead source is form submission, title is new lead. And over here, this is the description that I've added. You can see with all the details. Okay. So as now the new lead has been added in my Salesforce, now what I want is I want to analyze the personality of this lead. And we are going to analyze the personality of the lead with the help of an AI agent. And for the AI agent, I am using OpenAI. If you want to use any other AI platforms as your AI agent, you can definitely do that according to your requirement. For that, I'm going to add an action step in this workflow, in which from action application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as OpenAI right over here. An action event is going to be ChatGPT, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection. Then it is asking for the token, with the help of which we're going to build the connection between OpenAI and Pabbly Connect. To have the token, go to this hyperlink given here below in the help desk right here. As I've done that, the API keys page of my OpenAI account is going to appear in front of you. And now to generate a new token, click on this create button on the top right corner. Firstly, it is asking for the name of the key. So for the name of my key over here, I'm going to write it as my test key. Okay, as I'm creating a test key. Project is going to be default, permissions is all, and then I'm going to create the token from here. As now the token is generated, I'm going to simply copy it from here, paste it in this field right here, and click on this save button. OpenAI has now been connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting, firstly, it is asking for the AI model. For the AI model, I'm using GPT-4 Omni. But if you want to use any other AI models over here according to your business requirement, you can definitely do that. Next, it is asking for the prompt. What is a prompt? Prompt is a text with the help of which an AI agent is going to generate the content according to our requirement. In the prompt over here, we need to specify all the things that we want and do not want. So for the prompt over here, I'm going to write it as, so this is my entire prompt you can see right here. You are an AI personality analysis expert specialized in real estate buyer profiling. Based on the following buyer responses collected from a form, analyze their personality traits and discussion making style. Your goal is to determine whether the buyer is more analytical, emotional, inclusive, or lifestyle driven. Also suggest the best tone and the style communication to use when following formal, informal, data-driven, emotional, brief, detailed. Use the context provided in each field and generate a short summary with insights that can help personalize outreach. Over here, this is asking for all the details, and these are the instructions. Analyze the buyer's preferences and responses to identify their personality type. Suggest how personalized property recommendations. You can see over here, this is the answer. Recommend the tone and messaging style that would renote the best with this buyer. Output should be in form of summary paragraph. Okay, so these are the instructions. Now for the data of these fields, I'm going to map the data. For the name over here, I'm going to map the data of the full name right here. For the email address, I'm going to map the data of the email address right here. For the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number over here. So this is the phone number. For the preferred city, I'm going to map the data of the city right here. This is the city. For the budget range, I'm going to map the data of the budget range right here. It is asking for the top 3 things in the house. So for that, I'm going to map the data right here. Property type, I'm going to map the data of the property type. Ideal weekend, I'm going to map the data of the ideal weekend right here. And lastly, for the decision preference, I'm going to map the data of the decision preference right here. Okay. So as I've filled in all the required details and selected the AI model, I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. Okay. As I've done that, I've received a response, which is a positive response, in which I've received this message content, and this is the analysis, the personality analysis of this buyer. Based on the buyer responses, test lead 23232 exhibits a lifestyle-driven personality with a strong emphasis on aesthetics and social aspects. Their preference of spacious layout, modern design, and natural light indicates an appreciation of visually appealing and comforting living space. You can see the personality analysis of this potential buyer has now been done by this AI agent. Okay. Now what I want is, I want to keep the record of this analysis in a systematic manner. And the best way to do is that as I've created this spreadsheet, you can see right over here. Firstly, I'm going to change the format right over here. So now what I'm going to do is, as we have the record of our potential buyer details automatically in the spreadsheet, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add the data of this generated content, the personality analysis of this potential buyer in this spreadsheet itself to create the systematic record. Okay. For that, firstly, I'm going to add a column over here. I'm going to name the column as, so you can see I've named the column and also has formatted it. The name is buyer personality insights. Okay, so now with the data of the lead over here, automatically the record of the personality analysis is also going to be added with this potential buyer right over here. Okay, for that, I'm going to simply add an action step in this workflow, in which from action application, I'm going to select it as Google Sheets right here. An action event over here is going to be update row, as we're going to update the row with this generated content, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection right here, then click on the sign in with Google button right here. It is asking for us to choose an account first, which account we want to connect to Pabbly Connect. So this is the account, I'm going to select it. Then it is asking for the permission of the account. For that, I'm going to click on this allow button, as this is a safe process and my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button. As I've done that, you can see Google Sheets is successfully authorized with Pabbly Connect. Firstly, it is asking for us to select the spreadsheet, for which I'm going to select the spreadsheet that is created in the name of, perfect property match responses. So this is the spreadsheet right here. For the sheet, I'm going to select it as this form responses right over here, because this is the spreadsheet that I've created. Okay, next it is asking for the row index. For the row index, I have received this row index in this Google Forms step, so I'm going to map the data of the row index right here. After that, it is asking for all these details. Do I want to update all these fields? No, I just want to update the buyer personality insight right here. So in this field, I'm going to map the data of this summary analysis. Okay, and then simply I'm going to click on this save and send test request button right here. As I've done that, I have received a response, which is a positive response. If I'm going to open my spreadsheet, you can see automatically the analysis is now been done successfully. I'm going to format this right here. So you can see right over here, this is the summary right here for this lead that is generated. And this was the summary that was generated by our AI agent, is now been updated back in our spreadsheet. So as you can see over here, automatically the summary has been added successfully with the data of our potential buyer. This means that we have successfully created this amazing AI agent using Pabbly Connect for real estate buyer personality analysis in Salesforce. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple applications using Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask us queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button down there.